Hi everyone, it's the EnglishSimmer here, and of course this is another video about the Sims 4 kits, because every time a new kit comes out, I feel like I constantly have to give my opinion and defend why I don't ultimately agree with kits in The Sims 4, but I can see what they were getting at when they did introduce kits. However, we've had them for a full year now, and when these bad boys first dropped, everyone was saying, you know, these are overpriced, and then some people were like, but it's like a third of a stuff pack. They're not a third of a stuff pack. I debunked. I felt like Zach Baggins in Ghost Adventures, I swear. Because technically, we were paying more than a third of a stuff pack, and we weren't getting the actual content of a third of a stuff pack. But I basically just want to see if things have changed over the year and if kits have got any better. We have 11 kits in total. That averages out to almost one a month, but obviously we didn't get one every month. Like sometimes we got two in 1 month. Stuff packs seem to have been on hold / cancelled. I don't know if we're ever gonna get a stuff pack again for The Sims 4. The last one was in January of 2021. Rest in peace to my sweet baby gal. That is paranormal stuff. I did not know that us getting ghosts in The Sims 4 would mean that we were then laying stuff packs to rest and they would soon become a ghost themselves. We have 5 create a sim kits. We have 5 build and buy mode kits, which I actually thought there were more build and buy because I feel like we've had those an awful lot. And then of course we have 1 gameplay kit, which we have never seen again. We've never seen the likes of a gameplay kit. Plus the dust really was just left in the dust. I'm quickly gonna go through the create a sim ones. So the first one was obviously a throwback fit kit. And interestingly enough, this wasn't the most exciting theme for me. I wasn't a fan of it when it came out. Honestly, the first 3 really just felt like additions to packs that we already had, but it is the only create a sim kit that also had stuff for kids and toddlers. So in total, Throwback Fit Kit had 23 create a sim items. Then we had Fashion Street Kit, which actually had 26 items in total. So they kind of upped it a little bit. Ancient Arrivals, which controversially is my personal favorite. I've actually had the most use out of this kit, but it only actually has 22 create a sim assets. This is the smallest create a sim kit that we've had so far. Modern Menswear Kit, this actually came with 24 assets, obviously mainly for masculine sims. Yes, you could get away with using them on feminine frames as well, but they were made to focus on masculine. Don't get me wrong, it's not everyone's favorite. It was a little bit out there. And then we had Carnival Street Kit, which also had 26 items in total. And when these first came out, I basically took kits and I looked at them against stuff packs because everyone was saying that they were a third of a stuff pack. And when I looked back on the old stuff pack, which was luxury party stuff, we actually had a grand total of 41 create a sim assets. So therefore, we basically only had like half the assets in the kit of that stuff pack. Then Paranormal Stuff had 32 create a sim assets. So still, we haven't reached the height of what we have in stuff packs. We aren't getting the same amount in kits as we were getting in stuff packs. However, I will hold my hands up and say, I do think the themes have got better. Not that I like every single one. Modern Menswear was a little bit of a stumble for me. I think Fashion Street Kit, Ancient Arrivals, and Carnival Street Kit actually blew the quality out of the water. Like the little details, how everything pieced together, how cohesive everything was. The bigger change actually comes when you start looking at the build and buy mode kits, because as you all know, we started off with the Country Kitchen Kit. And this one, it might be a little bit of an outlier because, as I said in the past, making kitchens, obviously you have to like make all of these assets. So I think if we counted each of these individually, it would obviously bulk up the catalog, but like that's expected if you're you're gonna release a whole kit about a kitchen. We had 15 items, and when looked at against luxury party stuff, that had 12 build and buy mode items, so that was more than the old stuff packs that we were getting. But then if you looked at paranormal stuff, we actually had 39 build and buy mode assets. But of course, the release of Country Kitchen was tainted by the fact that a couple of months later, we got our hands on an expansion pack for The Sims 4, which was The Sims 4 Cottage Living, aka the cottagecore pack of our dreams. The WLWs absolutely lost their shit when this was announced, because they were like, oh my god, I get to marry my wife and I get to live out my country dreams in a little cottage that I can call home. But can we just take a look at the similarities between these two? Obviously, I've gone out of my way to pick swatches that are very similar to each other, and I'll hold my hands up and say Country Kitchen was actually my favorite from the lineup of kits that we got at the release. However, I personally don't think I would have picked this up if I knew that this one was coming a couple of months down the line. But this is where the tough thing comes in about kits, because you could argue, like, on the other foot, you could say, well, I didn't have the £40 to pay on an expansion pack that had this kitchen that I really, really liked. However, I did have the £5 to spend on this kit, which kind of gives you the same sort of vibe as this, and I wouldn't have played with, like, the gameplay, and I wouldn't have loved, like, all the other stuff. I see the positives and I see the negatives, but then we moved on from Country Kitchen and we got the Courtyard Oasis kit, which honestly, this is still one of the standouts for me personally, and that's because it's actually done something that a lot of the other build and buy mode kits haven't done, in the fact that it very much focused on build mode rather than buy mode. And then we got a couple of buy mode assets like that you could definitely plop around a courtyard, or like a Moroccan inspired build. We got 28 items in the Courtyard Oasis kit, which is the most that we have received in a kit so far. And then we got the Industrial Loft kit, which had 26 items, so only 2 items left. And this was kind of the flip side of the Courtyard Oasis kit. This really did focus on build mode. We also got the base game window that wasn't really the window that was advertised, but like came into it, but you didn't have to buy. Window gate is what we like to call it. However, it kind of suffered the same fate as the others, in which a lot of people were comparing it to like the industrial stuff that we already had in base game. I'm saying it suffered the same fate because obviously if you felt like you weren't gonna get your use out of this industrialness, then this probably wasn't for you. Which brings us to Blooming Room kits. This, I honestly feel, hit the nail on the head when it came to kits. We did only get 24 items, so it is on the smaller side, only by a couple of assets, but it is on the smaller side for a build and buy mode kit. Again, this didn't really focus on build mode whatsoever, and this really just had buy mode assets, and of course, a lot of them were plants, but I do feel as if this really hit the niche, because if you are a plant lover, if you want more greenery in your game, then I feel like you were probably gonna get your use out of this kit. And I think this is a good representation of what kits do well. They lean into that niche, they make you think, ooh, am I really gonna use this stuff, or is it not really for me? I feel like everything was kind of the same in this kit, but that was quite a good thing because you sort of knew exactly what you were getting. I highly doubt that there's like specific things that you'd absolutely adore in this kit and then other things that you absolutely hate. Don't get me wrong, this is like a little bit oversized. I probably would have done it that size if I were designing it. Whereas on the other hand, the most recent one, Decor to the Max, had 23 items. And this one, in all the feedback that I've really seen, is people seem to either really, really love some of the assets and really, really hate a lot of the other assets, which isn't helpful when you're spending like £5 on something and you're like, oh, am I really gonna get a lot of use out of this, or am I really just buying this for one thing in particular? We have a £1 for every single vacuum that you got in Bust the Dust. Obviously, that also came with gameplay. Fair enough, the gameplay was broken on release. I'm fairly sure it's been fixed now. I will say with all honesty, I have turned off Bust the Dust in my game probably since the week that I got my hands on that kit, and it's never gone back on because I just don't enjoy that gameplay. It is not for me, and that's personally why I don't miss gameplay kits, because we only got a taste of one. It wasn't up my alley, and it was also broken, and I don't think it was worth the money, so what is there to miss? But seeing every single kit laid out like this, I want you lot to tell me which has been your favorite. Are there any kits that you actually regret buying? And what do you think kits do well? What do you not think kits do well? I do stand by the fact that I think kits probably came out because we were in a global pandemic, and these assets were like, I don't want to say easy, but it's kind of easier to push out that non-gameplay element that like people don't have to collaborate on and doesn't need like rigorous testing and all of that. But I just personally don't think kits are for me. I don't agree with the price still. I don't think they feel like a third of a stuff pack. Yes, I do think the quality has increased over time. However, it seems to be very hit or miss, which I feel like is what kits are all about. They're either gonna really cater to you and you're gonna be like, yes, I need this in my game, or you're just gonna gloss over it and be like, I'm never gonna use it. It's fine. I don't feel like I'm missing out on it if I don't have it. I just really want to hear your thoughts, because I think this is just such an interesting topic. I know there's so many different like areas that you can view it from. The first 3 kits that we got together, if you were to put all of them together, it would cost £15, which is more expensive than a stuff pack, because stuff packs are £9.99 in the UK. You would get 15 build and buy mode assets, you would get 23 creator sim, and you would get 1 gameplay asset with some extra gameplay like the dust bunnies. In an old stuff pack, which cost $7.99 at the time of its release, you would get 12 build and buy mode assets, 41 creator sim, and 2 gameplay items in luxury party. And then in the newest stuff pack, which of course is paranormal, bless her soul, you would get 39 build and buy, 32 creator sim, and an awful lot of gameplay. Do you think that they've got better over time? Do you think that they're still kind of like hit and miss? Or do you just think that like kits cater to personal preferences, and that's probably what they were made to do? I appreciate you all so much. I seriously appreciate you listening to my rambling about these things. I had fun though. I have fun recording these types of videos. Feel like a little scientist, like I'm doing a little experiment. Feel like I should have presented it to you all, but thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will speak to you all in my next one. Bye now.